Hi, welcome to the Founders Series. Myself Hitesh Saklani from XSOS, and today we all gather here in the Hyderabad for the first pre-summit on Summit Mixture 2026. And with us is the Sravan, who is the co-founder of the iGoWise. Welcome, Sravan.
Hi.
So, my first question: can you introduce yourself a little bit?
So yeah, I'm founder of iGoWise Mobility. We are a deep tech smart mobility startup. Okay, our mission is to provide dignified mobility. When we say dignified mobility, there are three components: safe mobility, smart mobility, and sustainable mobility. Right. So the sustainable electrification piece is fairly understood, right? But more than that, there are several problems today. We have two-wheelers which are very risky, right? Most of the fatalities on the road are on the two-wheeler segment. So there are many women, elderly, who struggle with balancing issues, especially our potholes and all. Right? There are not many vehicles that are designed for the livelihood. Right? So a small farmer, a kirana store guy. So they need good capacity, which they are earning their livelihood. At the same time, they need good comfort, good safety on our roads. So these are the elements that we are working on. And our core technology is our patented anti-topple stabilization. So yeah, that's what we have been working on. And we build purely autonomous capable vehicles.
That's wonderful. So, how did iGoWise mission evolve beyond just building EVs to becoming a deep tech smart mobility innovators?
Right. So we've always been, our story has always been much beyond EVs, right? Electrification is one part of it, right? Because we use battery powered vehicles simply just like we use battery powered smartphones and laptops, right? So because it's the most efficient for small use case, right? Nothing more, not to save planet or anything of that sort, because it's the most efficient powertrain. We are using that, but our core always has been dignified mobility. Like I said, sustainability is one part of it. Carbon footprint is one definite important part of it. But we also have to cater, reduce the road footprint, right? So someone like me using a 2000 kg SUV, right? How much energy I am wasting? But I don't have a choice today, right? So the public infrastructure is not keeping up to pace to the demands of our cities, right? The road infrastructure is not keeping up to pace. So we have to build every year, every day. We are adding 12,000 new cars. Doesn't matter if they're petrol or electric, right? So we are all going to stuck in the same traffic congestion.
Yes.
Within the next decade, it's going to get much, much worse. So we have to build solutions that work for our cities, our congestion, our road infrastructure, right? That's what we have been doing.
That's wonderful. So your twin vehicle anti-topple stabilization tech is patent, and how does it innovate compared to Zeroscape based system in terms of efficiency and cost?
Yeah, so that's a standard. If you look at the NASA versus ISRO way approach, or even recent, if you say the Chat GPT versus DeepSeek or our homegrown Servam AI, etc. Right. So that's the whole essence of how we build technology. Right. So we can also build a very sophisticated, expensive technology. But what makes sense for the emerging world, not just India, the entire emerging world, where 6 billion people are still in the need of better mobility choices.
Yes.
Right. So we have to build for those, right? So it's a very unique approach, okay, where our anti-topple stabilization doesn't use any gyroscopes and all. It's 5 times more cost effective, 3 times more efficient with respect to the energy consumption, especially for stabilization, and 2 times more compact. And this compactness is again our superpower. Okay, so this is the only trike in the world, not in India, only trike in the world that legally you can ride with a motorcycle license. Right, so that's the compactness is a superpower that is very well understood in the computing industry, right? So the semiconductor is what driven the smartphone revolution. And the same is true for the electric powertrain. If we leverage it well, it can be a superpower, and that's what we have done.
Wonderful. So, how do you features like auto navigation and safety features like immobilization and auto summoning helping users?
Again, like when we say smart mobility, this is very one very important aspect to it, right? EVs by definition enable easier integration with technology, and that doesn't mean just fancy dashboard or voice command. So these are infotainment system, etc. These are good to have, but for us, the auto summoning or the safety feature like immobilization, right? So the EV financing is one of the crucial element for adoption, right? For a financier, having the access to control the vehicle from remote, right, whether immobilization or restricting the speed, etc. So that gives a lot of confidence. He has a lot of confidence in terms of where the vehicle is, tracking it, and how to remotely operate in case there is something happening. He can access the vehicle. That's very important. On the other hand, same, the auto summoning capability is also in the same ethos, right? The utilization is most important criteria, right? Someone, if I'm going to my office on a vehicle and parking it from morning to evening, it's not getting utilized. For me, it may not make much of a difference, but for a livelihood guy, it makes a huge difference when his vehicle, that is, he's spent so much money on, and it is lying around. Maybe it can be used by his family members, right? So that is the shared mobility that we are enabling with the kind of autonomy that we are talking.
That's wonderful. So, what advantage does the Biego anti-topples swelling tech triple disc braking bring for the urban plus rural logistics?
Yeah, so that's what when we specifically mention this rural livelihood, right? It's very unique market. Okay, if a small farmer, right, he doesn't care whether it is petrol, electric. That's not what his core ethos is, right? He's not here to save the environment. He's trying to earn a better livelihood,
Yes.
right? When he's forced to use a expensive three-wheeler just to carry some goods to the farmers market, right, or carry some urea bags or fertilizer bags, so he's forced to use a very expensive three wheeler. That's a huge
Yes.
deal for his pocket. And the same is true for a street vendor, coconut sellers, fruit sellers. All these guys use a vehicle as a livelihood, right? For them, it is not a fancy toy. It is a livelihood generator, right? They require that reliability, they require that durability, they require that capacity. But also at the end of the day, they want to use it as a personal vehicle.
Yes.
Right? So they don't have the luxury of one personal vehicle, one commercial vehicle, etc.
Yes.
So everything they want in one single package. That's where they are ready to invest, especially in the rural scenario. Higher capacity that directly translates to higher earnings, more comfort, better safety on our roads. These are the elements that they are looking for, right? And same is true even in the urban logistics scenario, right? Yes, there are folks who are carrying lot of loads on their shoulders day in and day out, 10 hours, 12 hours a day. And it's after a while it becomes, they burn out, right?
Yes. Yes.
So after 2 3 years they cannot do it consistently, right? So that's where you see a lot of churn in the fleet space, right? So once we solve their problems, basic comfort, little less fatigue, right? Their shoulders and knees getting burned out. Once we solve those, then we can see faster adoption, right? So that's what we are trying aim.
That's the wonderful. So, how do co-development projects with EVMI, Young shape regional products specifications?
So yeah, we have inquiries from more than 17 countries. But yeah, we have good partnership discussions going on with three particular regions: Latin America and Middle East, and of course Europe. Okay. Again, all the requirements will be different, right? So like Middle East, the requirements are some of the expressways you cannot go less than 80 kmph, right? And the temperatures can range up to plus 70 degrees.
Yes.
Whereas in the Europe, European scenario, in the winter season, the temperatures will go under 0 degrees, right? So this is a range of geographies, range of terrains, range of weather conditions that we need to build for, right? So one solution may not fit all, but the approach is very modular. So what we build is very agnostic, component level, modular platforms, so that you can customize according to the regions and test it as per the needs, right? So something like Latin America, it's very close to our geography and all. That's very straightforward. What works for Indian market mostly works for African countries and South American markets, right? So each region we have to customize to their needs. That's the idea.
Okay, that's wonderful. So, what's the vision behind 5,000 portable EV power banks in the Hyderabad and Bengaluru, and how they integrate with your ecosystem?
Right. Again, this is one of the very important problems, right? So we keep listening about like lack of charging stations, and even if there are charging stations, the reliability is a constraint. And even for those guys who are trying to set up, there is not enough data for them to assess whether this particular area is feasible for viable for a new charging station setup, etc. So our portable power banks essentially come to the rescue. There are several use cases. Number one is as an RSA solution. When a vehicle, two-wheeler, three-wheeler, four-wheeler, is stranded by the side, we can instead of towing the entire vehicle, we can bring the power to the vehicle. Right, within 10 minutes, we can bring the RSA solution right to the doorstep of the vehicle. On the other side, there are many real estate challenges, many RW associations, permissions, etc. That is one challenge. And there are many PGs and apartments where it is very difficult to get a charging station associated with that, right? So in these cases, this portable power bank as a solution comes to the rescue. And once you set it up, you will get to know if there is more demand. It makes sense for you to put a full-fledged charging station. This especially works out for tier 2, tier 3 cities where the demand it's very difficult to estimate right now, and we'll get better data by using portable power banks.
Sure, wonderful. So, can you tell us the vision of the iGoWise for upcoming next 5 years?
So yeah, like we said, we build autonomous capable vehicles that make sense for the emerging world, right? The Western autonomy is a different scale of autonomy where you have a very bulky four-wheeler, 2000 kg, monster.
Yes.
That is going at 40 kilometers per hour while the rider is sleeping on the wheel, right? So that's not that's good to have if we can manage that, but that's not what we are building for. We are building a very lightweight solution which allows shared mobility from one person to another person, right? So especially a small vehicle, light vehicle, should be able to navigate itself to enable, at least between the trusted parties in a closed network, in a university campus, in a tech park. These are the cases where shared mobility can be very easily provided, and that is where we are edging towards. We have a ultra premium luxury model that is in the pipeline, that is again auto summoning. A small family should be able to auto summon a vehicle and ride it by themselves instead of hiring a very expensive cab. That's the idea.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Sravan. Thank you for joining us today, and wish you all the best for your upcoming projects.
Lovely speaking to you, Hitesh, and thanks for having me.